Shalom, shalom, family. Welcome back. This is Brother Maurice. I'm sorry, as I started these videos, I'm giving out the wrong part number, but what you see written on the screen is the correct part number. So now we're on part number 11 of the truth about Moses, Aaron, the Levites, and the Levitical priesthood. And we're going to be coming from the book of remembrance of Aki, or Aki, in 1 Aki, chapter 4, verse 101. It says, soon after these things, Sephora returned to look after the welfare of Moses and to inquire as to how he fared. And she came traveling with her father and brother, and she found that there had been one continual round of complaints and murmurings against her husband and Jethro, her father, whose name means to judge. And he advised Moses as to what manner he should give his word to judge unto others of the children of Israel. For he said that Moses should take 12 of the elders of Israel and appoint them to judge the people in their disputes. And it so happened that at the time of the arrival of Sephora, that the people were hungry, and they rose up against Moses. And Moses went alone unto the Lord, and his little bird, that's Sephora, and his little bird followed at a distance, weeping and praying for him. And Moses knew it not. And Moses cried out, Lord, the people would stone me, for they desire now to have flesh to eat. Let's pause for a second. We need to look at this. He said, for they desire now to have flesh to eat. And that's because that's what they were eating when they were captive in Egypt. They were eating flesh. Now we understand that the Irkadeshi are the holy watchers. So we also understand that the animals are part of the Irkadeshi. And that's why when we read in Genesis chapter 1, verse 29 and 30, it says, and God said, behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in the which is the fruit of a tree, yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. So everything that grows, all the green vegetation, the fruits, the vegetables, everything, that is our meat. And it says, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. Do you see what happened? In the beginning, the Father gave us everything that produces seeds as our food source. That is what is meat. But today, the people are eating animals. They're eating the holy watchers. They're eating flesh. But where'd that come from? Well, family, now that we understand what took place with Aaron, now we understand why today people eat animals. And now the things that the Father put here for our enjoyment has turned into a food source. So now Moses is upset. He said, for they desire now to have flesh to eat. He says, wherefore have you afflicted me? Have I not found favor in your sight, that you have laid all the burden of this people upon me? Am I the father of all this people, that I should carry them and feed them like unto a suckling child? He said, oh God, I'm not able to bear this people any longer. If you shall require this of me, please kill me out of the hand, and thus show favor upon me. And the Lord said unto him, Moses, Take your 12 men as my servants has spoken to you. Let them be the elders of Israel, and set them apart, and lay your hands on them, and I will give them a charge as to the burden of their people. And I will take it from off you, my son, and then you may go in peace. He told Moses, and then you may go in peace. Listen what he says next. He says, well done, my good and faithful servant, for you have fulfilled all the desires of my heart concerning them. Go in peace, my son. And the little bird, that's Sephora, heard the Lord, and she was comforted. And it came to pass that Moses did as the Lord commanded, according to the words of Jethro. And he chose out of 12 elders of Israel, and he laid hands upon them, and they were charged with the burden of judging the affairs of the people. And he departed from among the children of Israel. Now all these things took place in the space of 2 years and 2 seasons, from the time Moses arrived in their midst until he departed. And Moses was in this way cast out from among them, because they didn't want him. And these people, so Moses actually went to the promised land. And these people wandered for 40 years. And their wicked felt no restraint. And in those years they multiplied. And they saw not Moses again for 38 years. And it came to pass, after these years passed, and the host of Israel came upon the encampment of Moses and Sephora, it was in the 39th year, and many had heard of Moses. Howbeit, that most of the old generation were passed away, and Aaron and Miriam also had passed unto the judgments of God. And it came to pass that the people were desirous that Moses should rehearse unto them all the doings of the Lord that had transpired among them in the day. And Moses attempted to rehearse to them all that had been done under his hand. But only a few old people could still speak and understand the language of the king, and what he rehearsed unto them became known as the book of Debarim. So everything that took place became known as the book of Debarim. What is the book of Debarim? Family, the book of Debarim is the book of Deuteronomy. But we now know that it was severely altered. And what became known as the book of Debarim, which by interpretation is perhaps the words that are known of God, and all of what was spoken by Moses was written from memory by the people many years afterwards in the land of Israel. And it came to pass that the Lord commanded Moses to write upon plates of brass all his doings and all the things he had spoken unto them. And Moses wrote it upon the brass plates in the language of the king of the far country. And Moses, during the course of that year, delivered the book unto the elders of Israel. And they beheld it and exclaimed, what good is this book of brass? For we cannot read the language of the king. And they cast it at the feet of Moses. But Moses now was very old, and his son Eleazar bent down and laid hold of it, and he took it. And he quietly went and placed it into the treasury of the tabernacle, where it was carried about and not looked upon for more than 800 years. And it was written as a testimony against them, and all the wickedness and cruelty of Israel during the 38 years were attributed to Moses, and God is judge. So many things took place, family. We're going to stop here, and we'll come back with the next part. Love you, family. Shalom.